You are listening to the audio production of Astar's Blade, The Provenance by Joe Lyon, narrated by Alan Irving. Forward. One more final push, and Joanna heard the baby cry, signifying the birth was over. 3 midwives attended her and received the newborn child. Joanna released the wooden handles of the birthing bed and covered her eyes with a wet elbow. "It's a boy," one of them said. "An heir for the House of Erland." "A boy?" the midwife's voice echoed in Joanna's mind. "A male child born to the House of Erland?" The baby was cleaned and wrapped in swaddling linens, then carefully laid upon her breast. Joanna uncovered her eyes to look upon the face of her son for the first time. The baby had tufts of curly red hair. She could see the resemblance. Just then, her husband Erland walked into the room after receiving the news of the birth of his only son. Together, unable to contain their joy, the father and mother beamed at their baby. "Such a blessing," one of the women said. "We are truly blessed this day." "Look at that curly red hair, just like his father's," another midwife spoke up. Erland and Joanna shared a look of concern. They could see the mark upon him, which meant this child had stumbled into this world, born into the curse passed on to yet another generation. "What shall we name your son, Erland?" one of the midwives asked, prepared to write down a name. Joanna nodded at him, and despite herself, could only smile. "His name will be Almon Plum-Kilmer." Act 1. Gods, Ghosts, Mountains, and a Growler of Red Curl. Maybe it's better off this way, to turn my back but want to stay. I'm better off to just walk away. Oh, my heart, it should have known better. Excerpt from The Witch's Songbook. Chapter 1. The House of Erland. The Mid-Run Valley in the year 1040 of human recorded time. HRT. Almon looked back at just the right moment to see his father fall off his horse. He saw Erland tumbling hard in a billowing cloud of dust. With rising panic in his chest, Almon leaped off his horse and ran back to help him. Fearing the worst for taking too long, he finally slid on his knees, reaching his father. Erland sat in the field, dazed and dusty, repeatedly mumbling, "I am ready to die." He patted the dust from his father's body, searching him for broken bones. "Did you break anything?" "Leave me alone. Let me die here." "Listen to me. Listen. You're not going to die." Almon reached his arms under Erland's and dragged him out of the sun and into the shade of a nearby white oak. Being pulled away, he exclaimed, "What are you doing?" "You fell off your horse." "Did I?" Erland asked matter-of-factly. "I don't remember that." "You're delirious. I think you hit your head." Erland hacked uncontrollably, coughing up blood. It pooled in his hand. Both men saw it, and they shared a look of concern. Almon dragged him the rest of the way into the shade and propped his father up against the trunk of the large tree. He pulled out his canteen and gave him a drink of warm metallic water. Erland could only drink a small amount before bursting out coughing again. "Are your ribs broken?" "They're sore," Erland said, feeling his sides. "No, I don't think so." "You gave me quite the scare." Almon continued to inspect him, trying to catch his breath. "What happened to my horse?" Erland asked, starting to regain his senses. All 3 of them were nearby, grazing on tall grass as if nothing had happened. They were not Almon's primary concern at the moment. "Let's just rest here a while," Almon said, as a cool breeze passed through the shade. He turned on his back and slid down the trunk, coming to rest beside his father. Beads of sweat formed on his face. He wiped his forehead with the back of his hand, then looked their situation over. "Well, it's getting hotter, and yet here we are."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?